Our next story is an example of entrepreneurship at its finest. It began with a man who had a yard full of old rusty trucks. Well, the county came out and told him to pick them up. So he did, literally. His efforts have now turned into a tourist attraction affectionately known as Truck Henge.
I picked my trucks up. They didn't like that idea.
Imagine that. You know, they said pick your truck up, and you did.
I did. They didn't like that. They said that was just a cynical attempt to get around the law.
You think?
Picking my trucks up. I was doing my duty.
His duty to annoy politicians that he says have no sense of humor. After the county complained the trucks posed a hazard because they could float 30 miles down the river to Lawrence if there was another flood here, Ron decided to make sure they'd stay put.
I put 42,000 pounds of concrete under each truck. There's enough concrete under these trucks to make me a 15-inch thick, 15-foot wide, 150-foot long driveway.
The Lessman family has owned this 30-acre property for over 130 years, and each generation has made his mark on the property. But until now, no one has had the effect Ron has.
See the big concrete blocks there?
Yeah.
I put 4 of those blocks under each truck, and they're 3,000 pounds to a block. There's 2 scoops of this gravel. There's 8,000 pounds to a scoop. I put a ton of iron and 4 yards of concrete under each truck.
So how long did this take you to do this?
Oh, the 6 trucks, about a month and a half.
Each of Ron's trucks sports sayings he feels appropriately represent his thoughts. One says, "Rise up." Another, "Freedom is not lost."
The county says, "We don't know what you do down there." Well, I said, all you got to do is look down the driveway. I got a bumper crop.
Ron began this project back in 2000 and has since added a few boats, sculptures, and other structures for your viewing pleasure.
That's Boat Henge down there in Beer Bottle City. There's the tree stump. There's the tornado. And then this is, the county said my hubcaps and license plates that I use for siding on my barn are going to float down the river. So I concrete them in right here. You've heard of Easter Island? I only got one rock. It's Esther. That's why the truth is buried there.
After a flood here back in 1993, Ron decided to build the family a safer and, I would venture a guess, infinitely more interesting house.
The old house we lived in was built in 1864, and when we moved into it, it had 9 breakers and maybe 500 foot of wire, versus the new house has 75 plus breakers and 8,000 foot of wire. We put 27 outlets in the kitchen alone.
This is something you just have to see to believe. Trust me, the pictures do not do it justice. This Quonset hut contains an 8,000 square foot living space that comes complete with an elevator.
Up with it.
This is too funny. This beer bottle wall greets guests with a smile. Although the trucks and sculptures are great to see firsthand, the biggest treat is actually talking to Ron himself. So you don't consider yourself an artist, though?
No, I haven't sold anything. I haven't tried to sell anything either.
He may not consider himself to be an artist, but some other people sure do. The Shawnee County Preservation Association gave him a Kaw Region Art Park marker back in 2006.
My place here is about recycling.
The Lessman Farm is private property, so you need to call this number before you visit. It's just off of Highway 4. It's not easy to find, but it's definitely worth the hunt. If you know someone who has a successful, inspirational, or motivational story to tell, well, we want to know about it too. We've made it very easy for you to tell us. You can go to one of these websites, or you can contact us through Facebook, Twitter, or you can even send us a letter. Be sure to give us a name, a number where we can reach them, and tell us what they're doing that you think makes them so special.